Hi, welcome to Live on KEXP at Home. I'm DJ Morgan from listener-powered independent KEXP, where we broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from 90.3 in Seattle and streaming online all over the world at kexp.org with real human beings playing you music. And we have tons of live performances every week that we air live and post here on our YouTube channel. And even during these times when we're all at home, we are still connecting you to artists and live music. And today, I am happy to introduce Christine and the Queens joining us. Hi.
Bonjour, bonsoir, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Chilling at home. I've been chilling at home for 6 weeks now.
Yeah, it's 7 weeks for me too.
Wow.
I had a week of vacation before quarantine started, so I really doubled down on the quarantining.
Ooh, I see. But yeah, I'm doing okay. It's really a roller coaster. It depends on the day, but yeah, so far so good.
Well, thank you for spending this time with us. Before we begin, can I offer you a beverage?
Of course, yeah, thanks.
Oh, perfect.
Special effects.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I don't even know where to go.
No, either.
We're trying to get the entertainment going for you guys. I hope you appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been rehearsing this.
We just spent the last half an hour with Chris making me laugh, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to interview you now because you've just been cracking me up for the last half hour. But we're very glad you're here with us today. You recorded some songs for us that we're going to be playing here this afternoon, so they look and sound amazing, and we're very happy to have you. And the new EP, La Vida Nuova, just came out at the end of February. So good. So we're going to hear some songs from that. So let's hear the first song, and then we'll chat.
Okay, let's do it.
So this is People I've Been Sad. It's Christine the Queens live on KEXP at Home.
It's true that people have been sad. It's true that people have been gone. It's true that people have been missing out. Missing out for way too long. It's just that me, myself, and I've been missing out for way too long. Been taking calls I should have been missing out. Forsaking things for way too long. Disappearing too. You know the feeling, you know the feeling. If you're full at fun and I'm falling behind you, you know the feeling, you know the feeling. Les gens reviennent par le mal. Des sentiments qui pourtant comptent. Prise au piège de quelque chose de fort. Je n'ai décroché pour personne. If you disappear and I'm disappearing too. You know the feeling, you know the feeling. And I'm falling behind you. You know the feeling, you know the feeling. Oh. Adolescence contrariée par un millier de chars de mort. Marcher pieds nus sur du verre et maintenant tout est plus fort. Adolescence contrariée par un millier de remords. Maintenant quand je ressens quelque chose, tout est bien plus fort. Adolescence contrariée par un millier de chars de mort. Marcher pieds nus sur du verre et maintenant tout est plus fort. you know the feeling. Oh, it's beautiful about the night. You know the feeling, you know the feeling. If you disappear tonight, you know the feeling, you know the feeling. About the night, you know the feeling, you know the feeling.
Oh, so good. How do you feel watching yourself?
I'm so cute.
You are
the last
cute.
breath in the end, like that was something. Yeah, I'm really cute. With my also, I did the homemade delays and everything. I just prepared everything.
Oh, it's perfect. Thank you so
Well,
much for putting the time in for us.
You're
Such a good
welcome.
payoff.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, that was People I've Been Sad from the new EP La Vida Nuova. So that title is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that song?
I think it's. I was on tour. I was touring the second record, and honestly, I was going through probably the most chaotic, demanding year of my life, where I experienced emotional turmoil and really deep personal, how do you say, losses and everything. But at the same time, I had to be super strong on stage every night and defending an album that is very much about life and sensuality. And that was wonderful, actually. I think it helped me carry through the year. But I think that song, I wrote it, the songs are more lucid than you could possibly be. So when I'm writing, I'm not even thinking. It's kind of like a subconscious barf. And the first thing I wrote was, it's true that people have been sad. I started to sing that. And then I realized I will have to face the sadness I'm evocating. And I think it was just a breach of vulnerability opening up. And I think I was just, I needed to talk about that sadness, because otherwise it would start to really eat me alive in a way. So I think that song just started the whole process of the EP. And it was a very important song for me. I knew it right away, because the straightforwardness of the song is also very much about healing. I think when you just decide to say that you're sad or wounded, it's already the start of something luminous, So I felt it was a precious song.
Yeah, it's a super strong opener too. It really sets the stage for the whole EP. You talked about 2019 being a very intense year for you. I know in the last few years, your rise to fame has just been sort of meteoric, and I'm sure you've just been constantly on tour, and now you're taking this little bit of time to pause, sort of a self or a forced pause, really. How has this time been for you these last few weeks, especially when I'm sure you were probably gearing up to tour on this EP, I imagine?
Alors, luckily, and I mean, almost like in a dream choice, I decided I was not planning to tour with that EP, which is the best thing I could have chosen, but I didn't know by the time. I really wanted to do it. It was an unexpected thing, that EP, and I think it really was a crazy thing that I decided to do, because I needed to talk about what I've been through and artistically to deal with it. But it was not really a plan for me to tour it. It was almost like a weird parenthesis, like a weird chapter in my hopefully very long career. And so, I mean, lockdown arrived at a moment where I was supposed to perform it sometimes for TVs or, but it did not kill a tour, which is, I'm thankful for, because I know some artists who were supposed to tour, and it's a really terrible thing to experience. To renounce touring could be painful, But that lockdown has been actually, well, a forced pause it was, because I hate not working.
Yeah.
But also, thankfully, I'm always working alone and writing alone. So I've been starting immediately to write new songs sooner than expected, but
right.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with that. And I've been performing, and I've been recording covers. I've been dealing with loneliness with art, which is something I've been doing since I'm 14. So that lockdown is actually, it's been a nostalgic one too. It's like reflecting a lot choices you made. And it's I've been thinking a lot about my teenage years, because I chose sometimes to isolate myself for weeks out of me being uncomfortable. And this time around, it's very different. It's not something I chose, but I reminisce a lot and I try to heal things. It's really introspective.
Yeah, are those the sort of themes that are coming out in the lyrics of the new songs that you're writing right now?
Surprisingly so, the new songs are really going in a different direction. I mean, I think I'll always write with the same wounds because I can't change them.
Right.
I don't really think you can escape the things that hurt you or defined you at some point. But the new songs are actually, I know this is where I would want to talk about it, but I don't want to ruin the surprise. But the direction has been surprising me. I've been like, oh, well, I'm actually in a really good shape. I didn't know that. That's surprising. But I think it's because of La Vita Nuova, the EP, that kind of unlocked something, and also I could let go of something that was heavy for me, and then I could move on to the next big dream.
So this is really a way to process emotion, songwriting for you, do you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been for as long as I can remember, I've been writing. The songwriting as a form arrived really late in my life, around my 20s. But before that, I was writing novels, theater plays, poems, diaries, and I've been starting at 8. I wanted to write since I could probably be able to write a proper sentence. But songwriting brought something beautiful because the music bears so much a tissue of emotion that words cannot even reach. So I think songwriting saved me at some point because it was wider than just language. It's yet a different form of expression. But I think writing helps. It's even worse than that. I think I live for writing, which could be dangerous sometimes, because I know I'm stepping into a dangerous zone, but I'm like, that's going to be a good song. And then I'm like going inside of it. I lost an arm, but it was really good song material.
I'm just going to cut myself up on the inside, but it's worth it.
I'm just going to pretend I still have an arm. It's fine. So, but yeah.
Excellent. So let's hear another song from the new EP. Can you talk about this song before we start? Mountains We Met. What is this song about?
It's interesting, this one, because the whole chorus of the song is basically me repeating mountains over and over again, as if it was not even a word that could mean anything special, or as if it was just, in that song, I'm trying to evocate something that cannot be contained by words. I think this EP is so much about loss and missed things and voids and things that I cannot even talk properly about. And Mountains is very much about that. It's quite meta also, because I am talking about the process of writing a song when you're really missing someone, and the impossibility of properly talking about it. And the image of a mountain seems something that cannot be dealt with intellectually. It's just like immense, and you're like, you don't know how to overcome it. So I think that song is I really like it because it's quite bare and simple and at loss of words per se, Mm-hmm. And when I started to iterate that word over and over again, it was almost like trying to rock me a bit, comfort me. But it's also about, things you cannot even talk about. You have to find an image and settle inside of it. Does it make any sense?
Yeah. Mountains are great imagery for that, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's hear that right now. This is Mountains We Met. It's Christine and the Queens live on KEXP at Home.
What are you saying? Do you think there's only one thing to do? Just write a song about you, and now could make sense for all the people too. Why are you leaving? If I can touch your body too, I write a song about you, and now pretend that you're the one with me. Mountains, 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 mountains. Since we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met. speak in silence. If you come chilled in gray and blue, I brought a song about you. Now let me destroy this will of mine. But are you saying? Do you thinking now it's just my fate to write a song about you and hate for other faces than just yours? Mountains, 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 mountains. Since we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met. There's mountains, 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 mountains. Since we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met, we met.
The endings of the videos are already, I'm deep inside of it, and I'm like, right, I have to stop the recording. It's really like the
You're
end
like,
of the
and
photo.
scene.
Yeah. And cut. And,
How has it been doing all of these virtual takes that you've been doing over the last couple of months?
just makes me think of that Jamiroquai song, Future.
Yeah, virtual insanity.
Well,
So
to
you
be
have a
honest,
moving floor?
always. No, I wish I had.
Yeah,
Great video clip, by the way,
totally.
by Jonathan Glazer, so good. Well, I mean, it's the only way I've found to properly still be able to do what I love most doing, which is performing. But if I'm totally honest with you, like, for example, some people are discussing like maybe lockdown is the end of live shows as we know it. Maybe people will just like stream. I'm like, please don't decide on that, because the best thing about performances are like just being all together. And I think as a performer, I am feeding on the energy of people being around, and you can play with accidents, with the people, what they give you, what you see, a face you see in the crowd. I mean, this is just what I love most. And so it's great to do it in my room, but it's, as you can see at the end of the video, I'm just like, right.
And
cool.
done. Yeah.
And I'm all alone. So, I mean, I really miss live performances, meaning, you know, the surge of emotion and energy that bring, you know, a true live performance. But it's just a placebo, or a way to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, you've been recording a lot of covers too that you've been putting on your Instagram.
I know.
Talk about, I mean, you pick so many different artists. You have obviously a wide taste in music. What have you been listening to while you're at home, and why are you picking the particular covers that you've been doing?
Well, some are really spontaneous. Like, for example, I did the Travis Scott one, and I just felt like doing it that day. I was like, actually, I do feel like covering Travis Scott. I don't know what that feeling is, but I felt like it.
Yeah.
Some like the Neil Young one I did recently. I really adored that song, and I never dared to do it before. But now I have so many time on my hands. I'm like, I might as well try. But I just also like to do a cover when I feel like I can take the song elsewhere. It's not even pretentious. It's just, actually, I think it's more humble not to try to emulate the original and just like melt it into something that is kind of a bit more personal. And I've been actually diving into music during lockdown. I've been discovering actually a wonderful artist called Lyra Pramuk.
I'm not familiar.
Great record. Really trippy. It's like lots of vocal loops that builds harmonies, and then she sings. It's really beautiful.
Is it a modern artist? Current?
Yeah. I think she released the record actually during lockdown or something like that.
Oh wow!
But I didn't know her. It's always great to also stumble upon great art during isolation, because you have like the whole time to just dive into the album.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've been doing a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the companion film that you put out with La Vida Nuova. It is absolutely beautiful.
Merci.
Filmed at the Opera in Paris, which, holy crap.
That's a flex. I admit it. I flexed on that one. I
Yeah.
did.
Can you talk about the concept and how did you get permission to film in the opera? That just the whole story. I would love to hear it.
Alors, I knew. Well, with me, it's escalating always really fast. So it started with people have been sad, and I actually wanted just to release that song at the beginning. I was like, I just need that song to be out so people can understand me, whatever. I had the crazy, naive idea that people are going to get me with the songs. I don't know why. And then I couldn't stop, so I wrote like 4 more. And then I was like, oh, this should be a short movie, because I did want to express feelings, but I didn't want to comment on it. And I wanted to be in somewhere really Parisian. I wanted to play around the trope of Paris as a touristic, eternal city of love, or whatever that means. Mm-hmm. But I kind of wanted to disrupt it slightly by just being in it, because I'm ruining a postal card. It's just how I do. And and at first I thought, yeah, oh, thank you. And I thought first about La Place de la Concorde, which is a place really mineral, really hieratic, really imposant. Mm-hmm. But then it became more and more obvious that we needed a place where it could be versatile and I could invest everything, because we wanted with Colin, the director, we wanted the short movie to be like a nightmare and a fever dream. And we thought about the opera and we were like, this would be perfect because we have so many. We have the roof, we have the rehearsal space, we have the main stage, and since that movie is also about what I'm going through as a performer, this could be the nightmare of a performer. And well, what can I say? The opera, I think thankfully the opera knew my work. So I think it helped. And I think because I worked around dancing so much, I think it kind of helped my name to be. But we shot in January, like 2 days before it reopens, which is insane because the opening of the short movie, for those who will want to see it, you only see sunlight and it seems like it's a wonderful day. It was in January and we felt immensely blessed because it was supposed to rain, actually.
Oh, wow.
So someone pushed the clouds away. I don't know who, but I just want to say thank you to that person.
Yeah. I was wondering what season that was because I could see your breath, but it also is a beautiful day when you're on the roof.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, how did it feel being on the roof? Like, holy crap, what an amazing view.
Yes. It felt, well, that was the last day. We shot the whole thing in 2.5 days, which is insanely short, honestly. Yeah. I don't want to brag. But we did it. But the roof thing was the last one of the last morning. So everyone was a bit drunk on what happened already. And this was the most emotional piece for me because that song, People Have Been Sad Again, is the one that kind of started it all. And the Brian Effington choreography is really deep to do. It's really like intense. So at some point I even forgot I was on the roof, which is weird. But like I forgot the information of height or everything. I just dove into the choreography and it really went through like that. But the rushes are wonderful because you can see the sunlight hitting everything and it's early morning, so it was really poetic to watch afterwards. But when you're inside of it, I just wanted to make that movie happen. It was honestly the craziest project I did in a few months like that, but also the most satisfying one because it really felt good to just do a movie, like a really cinematic one.
Yeah, it was amazing. Did you pick out the costumes or who designed those costumes? They're amazing.
We worked with a stylist called Jonathan Huguet, a French stylist. And we really took time to pick the outfits. They're not like custom made, but which shows it was almost like working on a character for a movie. We didn't want it to be fashionable. We wanted the character to emerge every time. And it was a wonderful thing to work on because every detail could change everything. And we didn't want it to be too fancy or too glossy or anything. But Jonathan did a really good work on assembling the looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the title track, La Vida Nuova, you got Carolyn Polachek to duet with you. How did that come about? I
mean, what can I say? I've been a huge fan of Caroline since the beginning, I think. became like a huge hardcore fan with the record she did called Ramona Lisa. I think it was brilliant. And thanks to the jobs we have, I think at some point we crossed paths, and she was, of course, lovely. And I think we kept on loosely talking after that. And she always, she always felt like, I always felt like she was really endearing, and just, she made me comfortable. And I was working on that track, actually, La Vita Nuova, in Paris, and she was in Paris for the Fashion Week. And I was like, honestly, she's the only one who can pull that off, because it's a song in Italian. Mm-hmm. It's quite campy, but she has the poise to make it work. And I started to fantasize over the ad-libs she could do. And I was like, she could be the perfect fit for that track, And I really just told her, do you want to drop by the studio? And she arrived and she listened to it and she did it. I was like, it's almost too easy. Make it harder. But she's the loveliest person, and she's super talented. And I got the ad-libs.
Nice.
She's doing amazing glissandos, and you wonder if she's auto-tuned or not, but she's just doing that with the throat. It's amazing.
Yeah, her vocal range is insane. It sounded so good on that song. Do you speak Italian fluently, or how did you choose Italian for that song?
Oh, I don't. Sometimes I have very blend random choices. Like I started to work on that instrumental, and for me it was really Italo disco. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, since it sounds like Italo disco, I'm going to sing in Italian. It was really like the most kitschy choice I ever could make. But I think also at some point it was enjoyable to just go for the obvious vibe, because it made me really think of early Italo disco tracks with Italian. And I think it's a lovely, really hedonistic language, and it was a song about just being in lust. So I was like, this is now the time to use Italian. Thankfully, I have Italian friends, because I'm not speaking Italian clearly myself. So I checked if it was correct with them, because otherwise it would have been really insulting to Italian people, and I didn't want that.
Yeah, it sounds great. I would love to hear another song from this EP, okay. But first, I would like to offer the listeners, Chris has agreed to answer some of your questions. So if you have a question for Chris, go ahead and put those in the comments now during this next song, and we'll pick out some questions and ask those after we get back from this next song. So this is Christine and the Queens live on KEXP at home, and this next song, I Disappear in Your Arms.
Spooky.
I disappear in your arms. Wait down. As you leave, don't you dare let the substances drop when I could breathe. I woke up blinded by every skies, birds flying alone. Don't you dare fighting me once again. It already shows. Already shows. You say you love me, now I doubt it. 'Cause you're after something you can't have. 'Cause you want just something you can't have. 'Cause you love only what you can have. You say you love me, now I doubt it. 'Cause you're after something you can't have. 'Cause you want just something you can't have. In your way down. When I dare to forgive you through my pain, you punish me more, and my strength turns it against myself as you stay on the shore. If the crying, then you must begin. I kneel for my God. Oh, I guess I need to turn all of those days to solid gold. It's just solid gold. You say you love me, something you can't have. 'Cause you want just something you can't have. 'Cause you love only what you can have. You say you love it, now I doubt it. 'Cause you're up to something you can't have. 'Cause you want just something you can't have. And then I disappear in your heart. In your heart. In your heart. Way down. And baby, in the cries of beauty, in the river of beauty, in the fountain of beauty, in the cries of beauty, in the river of beauty, in the sea of beauty. Way down.
Did we see my breast at some point?
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. People are going to replay it like, when?
I didn't see that in the comments, and I'm sure I would have seen that a million times if there was. Believe me.
True. It's true. Oh, it's in the nipple! It's in the nipple! Okay.
Nip slip.
It's just a female nipple, guys.
Yeah, big deal. Get over it. Before we go into the listener, oh, those are amazing.
I have my glasses for the questions.
Perfect. If you're just joining us, this is Christine and the Queens live on KEXP at home. I'm DJ Morgan from KEXP. You just heard I Disappear in Your Arms from the new EP La Vida Nuova. Before we get into listener questions, can you talk a little bit about that song first?
Oh dear. Well, oh dear.
Oh,
well,
dear.
it's a song about, well, I mean, the title itself, again, is quite bland. I mean, you can get that something is kind of not going totally right there. Well, it's a song about, the complications of a love relationship. Well, I mean, when I wrote it, to me, it was exactly that. I was kind of aiming it at someone. And the main thing is like, I don't understand. It feels like I'm trying so hard and it's not working and I'm dissolving. And actually, I discussed with someone recently who said, actually, the song could talk about the relationship you have with your own self. I was like, I feel really attacked right now.
Yeah. Whoa.
John, by what you just said to me. We are not friends anymore. No. But also, I think the good thing about that song is that you're asking for more respect. It's a song where you actually demand someone to properly, respect the boundaries and, the love and the things you can give. So it sounds a bit angry, but it's quite hopeful, maybe.
Yeah. Standing up for yourself.
Exactly.
Good. Okay. We have listener questions. There's a lot
Okay.
of them. I have to tell you at first, most of the questions are people asking you, and I kind of wanted to ask you this. How are you keeping your hair game on point like you are? Your hair game is fire.
Really? People are saying that?
Yes.
Because I was actually second guessing my because as people can tell, it was recorded just before the session. I was second guessing the hair at that point. Well, I appreciate that very much. I have no idea how I do it. I just wash them sometimes, and they actually fall as they fall. So sometimes it's really great. So I don't know. When it feels wrong, I'm just putting some water in it. I'm really low key. I don't maybe look like it, but I'm actually low key.
You have just naturally good hair genes.
Well, I have. It's true that my hair actually, I think they just take all the vitamins because I don't know where they are elsewhere. They just go in the hair, and then the rest of the body is like,
I'm dying.
I don't have enough. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Going back to the film, we talked about Carolyn Polachek, obviously, and somebody asks about Felix Morto, who played the Fawn.
Yes.
How did you cast him as the
Those
villain.
glasses are lame. It's just
Are
not
you distracting
working for
yourself?
me. I wish I was just Bob Dylan, but it's not working. Where Felix Marito is actually a suggestion of Colin, the director with whom I worked on the movie, because we knew the part would be a silent one.
Mhm.
And I actually wanted a comedian, someone that could really bring emotion to that part, because it's a hard part, actually. He's barely around and he's dying at some point. I'm spoiling, but you can still look at the movie because it's great.
It's totally worth it.
But there is a death scene, and you really need to get the emotion of that Fauna dying. So we really needed someone who could be physical, but at the same time quite emotional. And Colin suggested Felix because he knew that he could play that part perfectly. And I didn't know him personally, and I met him properly during that video shoot. And he has this emotional intelligence. And the death scene was really impressive to shoot with him, because he really gave me, I mean, I'm not a professional actress, so he really gave me the emotion I needed to properly embody that. So and he's amazing. If you want to check his other movies, he's really a physical actor. He makes me think a lot of Denis Lavant, another French actor I adore to death, because they could be silent and they still convey the emotion.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. Amber asks, how do you fight loneliness in the confinement? Can you?
I don't fight it.
Yeah.
I don't fight loneliness, actually. I've been sometimes seeking for it most of my life. The big battle I have to fight is actually how to diffuse loneliness, because for me it's almost like a reflex I have, and sometimes it's really not a healthy one, actually. So lockdown is almost indulging on my tendency to be alone, and it's not really that different from my life, which sounds super creepy right now, but you see what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm even forcing myself to socialize, and I like eventually socializing, but my safe space sometimes is being lonely, and that could be a problem, actually. So I don't know.
So staying connected is a little more challenging.
Yeah.
In a way.
But I've been doing lots of phone calls during that lockdown, and let me tell you, I'm not someone who does phone calls usually. So it's getting somewhere.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm the same way. I'm like, wow, yeah. I didn't know we could do phone calls before. Was this the thing?
I know. It's like, wow, 2 hours. Impressive.
I could have always been talking to you. Let's see. Minor asks, who are some artists that you'd like to collaborate with in the future?
Lots. I adore lots of artists. I've been a huge fan of Kevin Parker from Tame Impala. If they could even want me to shout once on the track, I would do it. I love Grimes. I think she's awesome.
Did you see she just had her baby today?
I think also the name of the baby, I don't know how to pronounce it.
XA12 is my guess.
I mean, it sounds also logical in a way. I mean, if they called the baby, Bob, I think people would have been disappointed. So they had to level up the name game. Janelle Monáe, I think she's amazing. Mm-hmm. Travis Scott, let's dream big. Rihanna, I mean, I could basically just hop. Rihanna, I could do anything. I could just be nothing, just on the video set of her like that. And it would be fine by
the background.
I could use the glasses and I'd just be like I'll be fine with it. People will be like, who's annoying?
I'm going to tweet at Rihanna and ask that happens.
Okay, cool. Good.
What is your favorite hobby in lockdown so far?
I don't know. This is where I'm sorry I'm disappointing a lot of people. I mean, because the lockdown interviews are about, so how do you cook? Or I don't know. I don't have any hobby. I'm just covering music, making music, sleeping. Well, no, actually I discovered The Sopranos. I've been starting to watch The Sopranos. So that counts as a hobby, right?
Yeah, for now.
I don't know why I didn't watch it before. I just refrained because it was too hype. I was like, yeah, it's one of the best TV shows, whatever. And then I actually watched it. And it's great on toxic masculinity. It's fantastic.
That's
so I'm like,
true.
Oh, I mean, a mafioso coming to see a shrink. I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting.
Let's see where this
about
goes.
Your emotions.
What season are you on?
Yeah, the end of the second one.
Okay, so you're still pretty early in.
Is it getting worse?
I mean, doesn't it always get worse?
I guess.
Okay. What is your style inspiration, personal and on stage?
Oh, on stage, it really depends on the era I'm in. For example, like when I was doing Chris, the record, I took West Side Story, the guys with like just the red jacket, just dancing with like. Bob Fosse is a cool style icon also, because a crisp white shirt and the black pants is always like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Kelly, Laurie Anderson, Annie Lennox, suited people. I mean, just suits over Catherine Hepburn, David Bowie, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of changes around. When I need to transform, I always transform differently. But it's true that I always come back to suits in the end. I don't know. I just feel super powerful with them.
It's classic.
Yeah.
Classy and classic. Are there any visual artists who really inspire you?
Alors, visual artist, does that encompass like directors or something?
Yes.
Not really.
You could do
Well, I think
fine arts or director.
Jesse Conda, I think, really had something special, and the game kind of changed with him. Movie directors, I really love Peter Greenaway. I think it's really scandalously imaginative. But then again, I mean, visual artists. This is always where I lack names to give. Tim Walker, I think, is a great photographer. I don't know if he's counting as a visual artist because he's not making any movies, but I think he's great. Yeah. If I have other names coming, I'll tell you.
These are very good recommendations.
Yeah.
Everybody's writing them down.
Yeah.
You can totally say no to this, but I really like this question. Can you teach us a quick dance move?
I don't know how to dance.
That's
honestly, no, I mean, like a dance move, I don't know. I know how to improvise. Like usually what I do is just I'm telling myself a story. So like but what can I, well, the tilted one is really efficient because you can just like move your hands like that. And then the shoulders start to get a bit crazy. So that's a good one.
nice.
Also, I have the chicken legs one, but you can't really see. Oh God. Because so you see my feet. I don't have a shoes, okay? This is don't tell anyone.
I love this.
Oh yeah, I know. This is lockdown reality.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if it's a proper dance move, but I'm doing that. And then I'm doing arms like that. Nice. I don't know. I think I'm a bad teacher.
I don't think you are.
I wish I put shoes on. I'm sorry.
No, that was great. In that vein, though, a lot of people are asking for dance tutorial videos from you. So just planting that seed.
But I don't know how to do that. I'll think about it. But even like the latest choreographies of the Vita Nuova by Ryan Effington are super hard. Like even myself, I took like it's really complicated. I'll think about it.
Okay, that's just an idea.
I swear. I promise.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We'll do one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pick one. Oh, this is good. I know we're on a dance theme right now, so let's finish with this one. And maybe you can extend this advice not just for dancing, but for all other forms of performance. Advice for someone who wants to dance in public but is too shy.
I receive a lot of that advice. And I appreciate that people can find that in me because they see me as a hint of something more, and I appreciate that. Alors, it's a good question though, because I don't know how I could make you realize that you don't care about other people. What is joyful when you dance is just the power you get when you just experiment. Actually, I think you have to let go of expectations and especially forgetting about other people's look. Because I've been, the teenagey conversations of like, I can't dance, I'm not drunk enough, things like that. I understand. Right. I understand why. But I think if you let go sooner of that and you accept that you can be the crazy one in the room, it's way more fun because you can get to dance earlier and you can just experiment. You know what? Convincing. You just need to be convinced of what you're doing. Basically, if it's weird, but you're convinced of it, then it's just awesome. And people just like confidence, So you can basically have a crazy idea, but if you're really inside of your idea, then people have nothing to say,
Yeah.
They're suckers if they just want to like tell you to stop. They're just afraid of your freedom.
Yeah. And those people should take this advice as well. If anybody
Exactly. Those people just want to dance too.
they just want to dance too.
Everybody
just
wants
wants
to
to
dance.
dance. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, we get it, you know. But it also takes a lot of practice, I think, to let go of that. So
Definitely.
you can do a little bit of dancing at a time, get comfortable with it, and then when you're, you've practiced, it's muscle memory, you can let it rip.
True.
Yeah.
Rehearsing is good also. It's true. Practice makes perfect.
Totally. Christine and the Queens live on KEXP at home. You have done a cover song for us as the final song. Can you tell us about it?
It's a Steve Lacy track called Inside.
Double entendre.
Double entendre. I love that English word. It's so refined. Double entendre. I just want an album that's called like that. Double entendre by Christine and the Queens.
That would be perfect.
I love that track. I think the original is superbly produced and it's really bare and simple. But I love that track because it's really ambivalent. There is something really the awkwardness of a teenage love, but it's someone that seems almost to brag about things, but seems also quite insecure and discovering the joys of just trying to hook up with someone. And well, for example, I did cover that track because I was horny that day, and I just went for it.
Nice.
It was a cool lockdown horny track.
All right, let's see
get brutally honest there.
I love it. Let's see it now. It's Chris covering Steve Lacy's Inside, live on KEXP at home.
Meet me outside on my palace. Don't need no approval, you valid. Let's make love right by my violins. Don't watch me do it, close your eyelids. Inside, inside, tell me, is it inside? Inside, inside, tell me, is it inside? My darling, inside, inside, tell me, is it inside? Inside, inside, tell me, is it inside? Now we're moving kind of fast. It's cool, I guess you need a pass. I guess you can grab your ass. And when we do it, I'ma make it last. Inside, inside, tell me, is it inside? Inside, inside,
Can you tell I was thinking about a special someone?
Did you FaceTime with them right after that?
No. Lockdown complications, but I was, I was invested with the performance. I'm so corny. Also, like the looks I'm giving to the camera, I'm ashamed. It's fine. It's up down.
I love it. You're great.
Thanks. Oh, merci.
Oh, Chris, that was so fun hanging out with you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Honestly, pleasure. You are my best social interaction of the day.
Oh, back at you. If you ever want to socially interact again, please hit me up.
I'll just erupt in broadcast like randomly, like, "Hey, it's me," and you'll be like, "No, not now." No.
I'll be like, "Accept."
Okay.
Awesome. Well, have a good rest of your night. Thank you so much for taking the time again.
Thanks.
It is Christine and the Queens live on KEXP at home, and thank you to all of you for watching and tuning in.
I'm just like enhancing the end of it.
I love it. Thank you. We have more live streams on the way, so make sure to check out our virtual events calendar. We'll post a link to that in the comments. And through all of this, we are still bringing you lots of music live on 90.3 and KEXP.org and all of these live performances on the YouTube channel as well. So thank you all so much for supporting KEXP. It's because of your support that we're able to have things like this. So thank you very much. And we'll see
Crazy
you next
people like this.
And we'll see you next time on KEXP Seattle. Bye.
Life is a comedy.